What's going on, guys? Your boy HQ420 here. Welcome y'all back. Another episode. Beyond the Cube. On a special night. Wednesday. I can't say the eve of 4th of July yet because we're not on the eve. We're on the eve. We're on the dual eve of the 4th of July.
Aren't we supposed to get a terrorist attack on July 4th? Isn't there some bullshit going around about that?
Is that what's actually supposed to happen?
I don't know. There's something going on. There's always something going on. I'm tired of something going on. The news is making me exhausted. I don't even want to watch it anymore. I don't want to know anything. Just stick my head in a hole.
Corey, is this proverbial hole? This proverbial, right?
Proverbial.
Okay. You see, you got to put that out there for the audience. That he's like, Corey, we don't want downer Corey.
Man, I got some hairs misbehaving. I don't like that. You're supposed to stay outside. Look at that shit. Fucking goddamn it.
Maybe you need to get some gel, hair gel. That's what we need to work on. Do you do the hair gel?
I got paste.
Correct.
Gel makes it too wet and sticky looking. I use paste. It's more natural looking. But I haven't used it in a couple days. Yeah.
Hold on. What? Do y'all know what he's talking about?
Bro, you take Elmer's glue and you rub it in your hair. I learned that from watching hood videos, man. What the fuck?
What hood you talking about? You said hood videos. The hood of what? Y'all, do y'all hear what Corey's saying? Corey said he gets paste for his hair. We need to get you. Hold on a second. We need to get Corey on some proper stuff. All right. That's what we need to do. Let's see. Best hair gel for men. Okay.
Why gel? Why gel? There's 50 different things that'll make your hair stick.
It's gel, man.
You ain't got no hair. I've taken advice from a guy with no hair.
What do you mean? I know about hair at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? It might have been many, many years ago. The mythical me had long, luscious locks.
Oh, I got to see a picture of you with hair. You got one? You got to have a whole picture of you with hair. Okay, for Sunday, you need to bust out a picture of you with hair. That's what I want to see.
I think that. You know what? There's only one picture of me in my true form. What was I? I believe I was 18 when I took the picture, and I was at Hardee's, and we got off work, and I was getting my hair done the next day, and I sat there after work, and I undid my braids, and so I had my fro all out like that. That's really the only picture. Man, I surprisingly didn't take any pictures, like at all, like period.
I was fortunate that my dad kept a lot of stuff. My dad took a lot of pictures of me growing up, so I actually have a couple photo albums of me from my childhood. And then when my parents died, I got their computer, which had like 10,000 fucking pictures on it that I should probably go through and sort one day. But I had this one picture that I think I mentioned this on day 0 recently, but we got a family photo taken. In hindsight, I'm like, what the fuck? That's so not us. So we were not the family photo type of family. And we had a family photo taken. Like my dad's wearing a nice shirt and everyone's the 4 of us are together, me and my sister. And I was wearing a Jane's Addiction t-shirt and I had half my head shaved and the other half was like a foot long, like hanging over in front like that. It was like the stereotypical picture you'd see in a comedy film of a family with the punk rocker kid in the family photo. I mean, it was too much. And my sister doesn't know where it's at. She can't find it. So it might be lost to history. I hope not, but it's amazing because like I'm like 50 years old now, or close. And now I'm starting to want a lot of those things that I took for granted growing up. You know?
Okay. So you starting to...
Yeah, like my dad had a stupid painting on the wall that was terrible of like a fucking boat in like a lake. And it was like very like, you know, classical painting. Like it was terrible. But now I kind of want that picture. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like, I just want it. And like, there was all kinds of stuff that my dad had, and my sister, thank God, she's in possession of, and it's in storage and whatnot. But sentimentally, it's starting to kick in my coming up on my 50s, which is weird because life shouldn't. I'm not a sentimental guy. I'm not. I try not to be because life can be painful if you're sentimental.
That's when it's kicking in. Okay.
Yeah, you got about 10 years ago. You got another 10 years to go, and you're going to be wishing you had that picture of you with the fucking afro up on your wall.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God! Hold
so
on,
keep
I'm
it
just fine.
So keep it in good shape, okay? For me.
All right. Oh my goodness! Is this right? This can't be right. Okay, I was above 18. December 14th, 2006. It's not a good photo though. I have to put it on hold on, I have to get on something else. I have it up here on this screen. Hold on, I'll get it up here in a second. But oh man, 2006. That's crazy. 2006, I mean, that's like it wasn't even real. Did I go through 2006? As you start to get older, like you try to remember back to what you were doing, and like it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah, at that time, I'll tell you what I was doing at that time. I had just got out of the police academy and was working at the police department for I only been there a couple months after I got out of. So you got to do all this training. You got to do field training, and you got to do the academy, and there's all kinds of fucking training. But I was on the road, I think, by that time. So, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting time.
Okay, so I took this picture. This was when they had Polaroids. You know what that is?
Of course.
Old school right there.
That ain't real.
That's me. At Hardee's.
Screenshot.
Straight up. Yeah, home of the thick burgers. You know what I'm saying? That's me in all my glory, bud. Back when I had a ton of hair. God, I had a bunch of hair. So yeah, I get that thing braided, and what I would do, I put it in box braids, and it would lay down past my shoulders. It was wild. Man, that's a wild time, dude. Mainly because I don't remember it. That's the wildest time about it. Like Hardee's, I got a couple of distinct memories, and that neither one of them are that great. So, I've got that right there just because I've got a photograph of it. But some of the other memories aren't fun.
I worked a lot of fast food too. I worked at McDonald's and Taco Bell. My first two jobs.
No, well, my main thing is because, man, I got hit on by a dude.
At work?
Yeah.
And he worked there?
Yeah. And I was like, hold on a second. I ain't gay though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't one of these ones that can be converted neither. You know what I'm saying?
So I got a story for you. This is a wild story, I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. So when I was, how old was I? This was like 1998. I must have been like 21, 22, something like that. I got a job. I was into the whole rave techno thing, and I got a job working for a record distributor. And it had become like one of the bigger vinyl record techno distributors in the country at the time. So to work there, you were like in this little inner circle of people who were fully connected to what was going on in that industry. So it was amazing. I was probably there about 6 months. I drove 50 miles each way. But I met a guy there named Houston, and he was really cool. He wasn't my boss, but he was the guy who was kind of like we were paired up as a team in sales, and I was working with him. And he was all kinds of gay, but he was very professional. Like you really couldn't tell if you couldn't tell, So after working with him for a while, he's like, "Hey man, I'm doing this record promotion tour. We got these new single came out from the producer of Backstreet Boys, and it was some girl group that never went anywhere. But he had a bunch of records, and he's like, I got booked to do a couple weekends in a row, going to these clubs to give out these records. You want to go?" And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great time. And I'm thinking we're going to go do this like rave techno thing. and we're driving, and we're like halfway to Tallahassee, Florida from like Tampa area. And he's like, hey, we're going to gay bars, right? And I'm like,
no, I don't.
I'm like, no, I don't. I didn't know that. He's like, yeah. He's like, all these bars we're going to they're gay clubs. He's like, you cool with that, right? I'm like, well, we're halfway there, motherfucker. What am I supposed to do? So I ended up going 3 different weekends in a row to Tallahassee, Orlando, and Miami with this guy to promote this fucking record. And I had to go to 3 gay clubs 3 weeks in a row. And here's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the exact pattern that happens every time.
Okay.
The gay dude will hit on you, and then Houston goes, no, he's straight. And then you're the butt of straight jokes for the rest of the night.
What that's supposed to mean?
Yeah. Like the token straight guy, and just little, little faggy comments like that. That was what it was. But overall, it was an interesting experience doing record promotion. So I got a lot out of it. But it was a learning experience, to say the least.
You said, man, you got me at the gay bar, man. How'd I get here? I remember years ago, okay? But my friend and a couple of people there, and their girlfriends, they had a couple people in their circle that, swung the other direction. And they were like, yeah, man, we're going to this bar. And I was like, okay. And they said the name of the bar. I can't remember of it. And I was like, hey, that don't sound like no bar I've been to. And they were like, yeah, it's a gay bar. I'm like, man, I ain't going to a gay bar. Nigga, I'm single. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of girls. A lot of girls go to gay bars. Like, there was all kinds of girls up in there.
I don't give a shit. I don't want my name. Look, man. Hey, and this ain't no slap on the wrist.
You don't think you could be the straight guy to go into the gay bar and pick up the straight chicks because you're the only straight guy in the place?
No, I don't want my name associated with it. Okay, I don't want that thing out in the ether. That's your boy X Cube out here frequenting the gay bar. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Because because I don't want nobody to come into question anything with sexuality. Because there's a lot of times where they say that the black men be in the closet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black men are in the closet. Yeah. Well, was Diddy in the closet or was just a cook?
Well, he fucked dudes, didn't he?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Did he get some man booty? I don't know if he got man booty or not. Or did he watch somebody else get some man booty?
I don't know. These are things that are outside my purview.
Yeah, but you see, I don't want my name. It's like, yeah, man, yeah, I see you at the gay bar a few times. It's like, no, Bo, don't even be putting that out there because folks be thinking that there's some potential for me. They're like, oh yeah, I know that you sitting here talking about you like women, but we seen where you were at the past few weekends. Oh no, being a single dude too. You see the other folks, they going with their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? It's all I'm here with my girlfriend, and they happen to have a gay friend. Well, like, Cube, who you here with? I'm here with them. Where your girl at? You got no girl? You here to pick somebody up? You see what I'm saying? I don't want my name to get surrounded with that, and to get out there and to tarnish my legacy. Okay, what very little bit I have left. Okay. Hey, I don't want my legacy to be tarnished in that way. Like I said, no hate to the folk who want to get down like that. But I just can't be associated with it, okay, out there in the ether. Put my name out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody been done caught wind, caught word. And look, and as somebody who has been hit on by an actual gay dude and like how very uncomfortable that was at that moment, like I just really don't want to be put in a situation. It was really uncomfortable. Like I was like, dude, like you shouldn't have said that shit to me. You know what I'm saying? You should have held on to that. Man talking about taking my butthole virginity. I was like, what? No, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what you thought this was, but it ain't that. I mean, that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that. So, I mean, we just got to be careful. All right. That's all I know. Because, a rumor will spread and all of a sudden it become the truth. And everybody around, yeah, he gay, man. So you be trying to get with some chick. I heard you were gay. No, dog, I ain't gay. Come on now. I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what they always say? I'll show you. The whole while, they be doing some stuff on the back end. It'd be like the episode on special SVU, Special Victims Unit. Ice-T confronted the black guy. He said, I ain't gay, man. I have relationships with women and sex with men. Ice-T said it makes you gay, dog. It's like, come on, man. It's like,
I can't.
But
man,
some people believe that.
That show's still on fucking television.
It's
after
crazy.
Like 35 years.
It's crazy. It's got to be that and The Simpsons.
I mean, the idea that they can't get promoted out of that unit in 35 years, that's wild.
No, I just got promoted up.
Oh, really?
It just pays well. It just pays very well. Man, the amount of trauma you would have on your backside after 35 years in the special unit. I mean, damn. I mean, you done seen all type of clobbering. You know what I'm saying? Folks getting ravished and
Bro,
just as
a road cop. See, what happens is when you get a call, they don't be sending no detectives out. Like, I don't know what, maybe in New York or the bigger cities they might, but like, you're lucky if a detective sees that case for like a week, unless someone dies, unless someone gets murdered. Like, I've been, because they send a street cop. So I've been out there, I've worked a couple dozen, what they call sexual batteries. Technically, rape's not a thing. It's a sexual battery. And, so I've had to be there and taking the statements and like talk to these people. And yeah, it's fucking hearing some of these stories is from these people. What happened to them is pretty rough. You got to have I have a thick shell. I had a thick shell back then, but you got to have a real fucking thick shell to deal with that shit every day.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you got multiple occupations where you get harassed quite a bit, okay? And it's usually anything that's public facing. Anything where you have to have multiple interactions with different people throughout the day in quote unquote stressful situations. Yours as a police officer, you're rarely meeting somebody in a non-stressful situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like the likelihood of you like being in their vicinity in a non-stressful situation, unless you just happen to be doing a patrol or I don't know if you ever did any if they had like a baseball game or something, you would block the roads and kind of do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we worked all kinds of events. I worked the president. Mm-hmm. The president came to town twice. We had to block off a road for like 7 miles. They had like 3 agencies come out to do it. It was ridiculous. And then it was Obama, and then he had and I did Bush. And did I do Bush? No, it was Obama, not Bush. But he just shot in like boom, like super fast. They go like 100 miles an hour down the street, and they run all the lights and stuff. Like it ain't like a leisurely stroll.
Right.
And they got to block off all the roads. I did that.
That would probably be more of your non-stressful situations because you're kind of just there.
Well, here's the deal. After you've been on a road a while, even situations that are considered high stress become routine. You know what I mean?
Right,
they really become routine. So it's not like I've been on, I can't tell you how many, man with a gun call, right? Most of them turn out to be nothing, but the preparation is the same every time. And it is a high stress situation. You're at an elevated state of awareness, but that state becomes the state you're in all the time. And that's the biggest problem with police in general. And what causes all the problems we see with police in general is that when cops go to work in the day or whenever the fuck they basically because of the nature of the job, enter into this state of hypervigilance, right? Like if you get into a fight with somebody on the street, you're going to get into that elevated sense of hypervigilance, and that's going to take you, studies show it can take like 12 to 18 hours for your body to recuperate and go back to normal from the time you have an incident like that. All the stress hormones and all the everything that goes on in your body takes that long for you to reset from and even if you just had one single incident on the street. Cops go to work and they enter into that state throughout the duration of their shift. And then they get off and they go home and they go back to work before their body has a chance to recuperate from being in that state of hypervigilance for that long, right? So you have a long-term extended physiological problem caused by excessive dopamine and all kinds of other things that are brought about by being in this state. But then when you come out of this state, this hypervigilant state, you literally crash. Like I would get off of work and I wouldn't want to do a fucking thing. And it's funny because I had this one chair. I would always fall into my chair and watch TV. And then I read a book called Emotional Survival for Law Enforcement that talked all about this stuff. And it even talked about the magic chair. Every cop's got a magic chair. And I read this book and I fucking realized I felt like this guy had been spying on my fucking life. Like all the pitfalls of the emotional and physiological problems that you get when you are a cop. I had every single one of them, like in an extreme version of them. And that was when I knew I was done, pretty much. Because and on top of that, my girlfriend was a fucking alcoholic, right? And so and she destroyed my career. That combined with my attitude kind of made everything crumble. But when you go into work every day and you enter that state of hypervigilance and you have that feeling of like on edge all the time, it's no different than being addicted to crystal meth. You go up and then you crash and your body physically crashes. It is no different. It might be a little more intense on drugs, right? But like it's no different because the dopamine reactions and the endorphins and all that stuff, they burn your body out quickly. You know, you meet a cop who's been on for more than 5 years, maybe 7 years, coming at least definitely over 10 years. And they are either like burned the fuck out or they just don't care anymore. And that's what leads to all these shootings. Because they're in this hypervigilant state and it just fried them, you know? And then, it's wild. I should one day write a book about this stuff, but I really just don't care enough about it.
Okay. Yeah. So you talked about how it's routine, but unless you're somebody who is in trouble with the police all the time, most of the time when people are talking to the police, they're usually in some type of high stress situation.
You are correct. Just my presence there increased stress.
Yeah, you're sought out. So it's just like me. So I work at the car dealership in service. People seek me during high stress situations. Car is broke down. I need to go somewhere immediately. What do you mean that you can't get this done immediately? It's just 100% of the time. I need it. I need it now. Why is it not instantaneous? I don't understand. What do you mean you're busy? I don't get it. I get that I didn't have anywhere to park. I get that there was nowhere in the parking lot to park. I had to park all the way in the back in the fence where I'm not supposed to park. But I don't get why you can't get to my car today. Like it's the disconnect. Like you see all the people. It's like when somebody walks in a restaurant and they see all these people waiting and they walk up. They be like, how long's the wait? They'd be like, it'll be an hour. Hour? And you ain't see all these niggas waiting. I mean, are you okay? When you walk through the door and you seen every seat taken, you looked over at the bar. All the bar stools were taken. And then you seen not only people sitting inside, but people waiting outside. Did that not give you an indication that you're going to have to wait a while? Like folks still are taken aback. Even in places that are popular. One of my favorite places to go and eat breakfast. I get it to go now. But Yoder's. When you roll up to Yoder's on a Saturday and your ass did not get there at 6:15 to wait for them to open the door at 7, you're going to be waiting an hour. And
So
folks still don't get it.
So do they got like hot Amish waitresses there at Yoder's?
I would say they
wear a little thing on their head.
They sit in between the 4.5 to 7 range.
To be expected.
They've had a couple there before that were 8s. They're not there anymore, but they've had a couple that were 8s. But usually 4.5. I mean, it looks like, a good old, she had about 3-4 kids, you know what I'm saying? Cook you a meal, not really say nothing. Wash your drawers type girl. I mean, that's what it seems like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like running a meal. Which that's what you should be going for anyway, okay? Running a meal. Running a meal to get you where you need to be. All right? Man, you can live a real happy life. You know what I'm saying? With some running a meal. I know us as men, we've got this thought in our head, you know what I'm saying, of what we believe we should have, and women do as well. But most of us should just be with average people because we are average. I'm just talking about as far as looks. Average and average. And you should be okay. And most chicks there are average. Right there around average. I say you look at it, you be like, if you look like 2 or 3 times, you're going to be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just one of those. Remember this years ago, I was sitting there at the gym. I was sitting upstairs. This chick they got a upstairs part where you can run. You can do a mile upstairs. I was sitting there looking at it. I was like, man, ain't no way. Went by a second time. I was like, well. And then the third time, I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just grow on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what can happen. All right. These Yoda chicks will grow on you. Now they all have. They're in their. They got their dresses. They got their little hat. Put their hair in a bun. But they all wear like Nikes and New Balances. Now,
I wonder how fake that is. I wonder if they get out of there and they put on their Daisy Dukes and go do their thing.
No, I've seen them out in public. Because sometimes they venture to my part of the woods. See, because they are about 25 minutes away.
Up in your part of the woods, there ain't much of a big Amish Mennonite community. I grew up on the outskirts of a very big Mennonite community, which are like Amish light. And
right.
They live amongst us and they use electricity and stuff, but they still literally they still have you see them with the carts and stuff and horses and whatnot on streets. It's really weird. Police must have made an exception for them.
Yeah, I passed by their small village. They've got a village of little tiny houses. There's 40 or 50 of them. I passed by it. I pass by it every time I go out there because the way I go now, I happen to just cut by it. And I looked out there. The first time I seen it, I was like, I asked my girlfriend, I said, what's that? She's like, oh, that's where the Mennonites stay. The one who work around Yoder's. I said, oh, shit. That's some shit straight out the village. You know what I'm saying? The M. Night Shyamalan. That's what it looked like. That's what I thought when I seen it. I said, it's M. Night Shyamalan, man. I was just looking for the fence and the trees.
Up in, I guess the big Amish populations are, I guess they're up in Pennsylvania. And they live in huge communities and they don't have electricity. They don't have none of that stuff.
Yeah, you see, I ain't trying to get deep like that. When
here's the thing.
Talking about
how the fuck you get that person's a Christian, but then you get Joel Osteen's a Christian? How are they both the same Christian?
Well, is he not?
Who?
Joel Osteen.
Oh, well, he's a Jew, but he's a Christian on the front.
Okay.
Maybe he was a bad
so you
example.
saying he's
I'm
a
saying,
Jew first?
how do your MAGA Christians justify being, using electricity when the Amish are like, nope?
I'm not sure, but I
I
like
don't know
that you said
either.
he's a Jew first.
No, he's a Jew. I'm pretty sure. Is Joel Osteen a Jew? I swear to God,
It makes him not Christian, right?
It's like they live. I swear to God.
Man said, hold on. Before we get into it, I think he's a Jew first, so we might want to.
Joel Osteen goes back to roots with trip to Israel. No, I can't find it. Maybe it's propaganda, but I like it. I like that because this is propaganda.
Oh, you say you like your little propaganda?
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Propaganda is an absolutely necessary part of a society. It's what generates the narrative of the world and the country and the community. You have to have a narrative, and narratives are not organic. They have to be propagated. So it's like a school spirit kind of. It's like a school spirit kind of thing. You know what I mean? But propaganda can get out of control at the same time. You got to have that kind of thing. Yeah, you understand the concept of school spirit and rah and all that stuff. Like, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
it forms social cohesion, and that's why we have sports teams and shit, so communities can kind of come together and have this social cohesion. You need to have overarching narratives in a society, and those overarching narratives are injected via propaganda, right? So, propaganda doesn't have to be false. Propaganda can be true.
Okay.
Propaganda can be true.
Yeah. So it'd be like every day, and when you went to school and you pledged allegiance to the flag.
Right. Yeah. That is indoctrination 101. But I don't necessarily have a objection to it, because one thing I've realized over in my old age is that society needs a rigid structure. You can have all the freedom, monetary freedom, actual freedom to do whatever you want, but that freedom has to reside within a very rigid cultural framework. Otherwise, you end up with San Francisco. I'm not even playing. And this is where I hate this, because always the conversation goes back to fucking Hitler, right? Because he was like the picture perfect guy of who enforced a rigid structural, a cultural structure. You know what I mean? That's really what he did. And it might have been a little too rigid, but nonetheless, you have to have a rigid cultural framework for a society to operate, right? Why do we take
start looking like San Fran and Portland,
right? Like, why do we take Saturday and Sunday off? It's fucking pretty arbitrary. But we do it and we stick to it because it gives us a framework by which to live. Otherwise, we'd be like, oh my God, what is happening on this fucking rock in space? You know what I mean? We have to have self-imposed prisons to a degree.
Otherwise, you know what you'd be doing? You'd be tilling the field every day. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Except Sunday. And then you might have to do it Sunday too if you ain't having enough food. That's one of the arguments that, it burns my ass every time I hear it. They're like, well, our ancestors, they worked half the time we worked. I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
They got ate by bears.
I'm like, dude, they will walk outside and get bit by a tick and be dead in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't understand the troubles that they had to go through, but they actually had to grow their food. And I'm talking about they won't going up to the Lowe's and getting bags of seed and just putting it out. You know what I'm saying? They were having to go get their oxen and get a plow and go out there and do some hard work from the morning till night. When it got dark, that's when they came back.
The whole purpose of your life was working to make your food so you could continue to live, so you could continue to work, so you could continue to make your food. So you could
continue to fuck.
That was it. And that's all people did was work and fuck. And that's why they had 12 kids.
That's it. That's it. They want nothing else to do. That's why I said that. And people got the mentality now that there's so much more to life. I'm like, no, they just put all this entertainment out here, so you think there is, but there's nothing more, man. You work to contribute to society. and then eventually you die. You might get some pussy in the meantime. You know what I'm saying?
That's basically it. That's like,
and it's okay. You can derive some type of meaning within that, and you can be laying on your deathbed and be like, you know what? I think I did pretty good, and that's all I'm looking. Whenever it's dwindling down, maybe it'll be instant for me. Maybe I'll have a slow, agonizing death. We don't know. But once it starts dwindling down, I can look back and say, you know what? I did all right, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? We move on to whatever's next. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's our 72 virgins or whatever else we're going to do.
You see, this is my problem. This is the fundamental problem of my fucking life. Is that I understand what we just talked about perfectly. That's it. But I can't convince myself of it to practice that.
Okay.
To me, life is this never-ending fucking stairway. And I keep thinking there's like an end to something, but there just doesn't seem to be. And no matter what I do or how much work I put in or how much I accomplish, I never seem to get to this place I think is on the top of the stairs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it sucks. It fucking sucks. Because I can recognize it as I'm doing it, but I still feel like there's so much more. And there isn't. There isn't much.
Oh, so you can never say that I made it.
Yes.
So you never feel like you say, hey man, I made it.
100%. Regardless of the fact that I've already accomplished more than most people ever will, just by putting out a book and just by doing the things I did in my previous lives. But it's just like it's not enough. I don't know I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. I just can't shut it off, and I wish I could.
And and I've thought about the money thing, and it's like, okay, if I say I hit 50 million tomorrow, I can't say that for me personally, it wouldn't be really shit that I would buy. I mean, I'd probably get a townhouse and that'd be it.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably live the baller lifestyle in my mind that I want to live. I could probably, realistically, when I think about it, I could probably do it on like $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
It's like not even what fucking people with like money, like dream. I could have a ball. I'm a bachelor. I could have a swinging fucking one-man apartment and a brand new car and fucking going out doing shit every night on like $100,000 a year.
Yeah, and you'd be like, shit, I made it. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, you'd be like, man, I feel good about it. Like, when I've had people come into work and they're sitting there and they talk about stuff. I was like, yeah, if I left tomorrow, I'm good. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, but I ain't got nothing else. It's like, shit, I literally felt like I did it all. I don't have anything else that I'm looking at. Because, I mean, about the only thing left is sorrow. That's about the only thing left for me.
When you're at the sorrow stage, you have to bypass that and go to the coke and hookers phase. Then you'll be
okay.
That will take your mind off it.
Okay. Yeah, because technically...
It's like if you're in that state of mind, like if I was going to kill myself, why not just rob banks or fucking go bang hookers or... if you're going to end it, right, why not fucking do all the crazy shit?
Go out with a bang.
It wouldn't matter. You have nothing to lose if you're at that point. So you might as well.
Okay. Man said, I'm looking to die anyway, so I'm going to do coke and hookers. That was fine. He said, hey, look, but I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes life has a evil way of keeping you around during those times. You'd be like, man, at any point in time, I should be able to leave here. Well, you live for the next damn 60 years. You live to be 100 something. You'd be like, you piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Life would keep you around for that. I don't know. We are men, so we do tend to die early. Way earlier than women. And there's a bunch of women in their late 80s and 90s. How many men do you hear in their late 80s and 90s?
I'd say like late 70s is when most of them go, late 70s. So.
Yeah, dude, I've had people that I've worked with right here recently. When I started working at the place I work at 15 years ago, these dudes in their 50s, all of them dead. All of them. Hell, we just had a former manager at the place I work at, former service manager, and then he went to the sheriff's department, and then that's when my buddy took over, and then I came in with him. But he died, 47 years old, dead, boom, gone, heart attack. Crazy. Like the amount of people I know that they ain't even got what I technically would think would be old yet, which should be 70s.
So I worry about my heart for sure. There's no record of any heart anything in my family, and I got, let me see, both of my grandmothers lived into their 90s, and both my grandparents lived to their late 70s. My grandfathers lived to their late 70s. But I do worry about my heart because of what happened during COVID. And people don't really grasp what happened during COVID still. Even the conspiracy fucks talking about it don't grasp what really happened. But I had a fucking heart condition for 9 months that went away. Give me a fucking break. I don't understand what the fuck that was about, but I had end-stage heart failure symptoms for 9 months. And then all of a sudden, I was back to normal. Since then, I had an EKG, or where they put the little things on your chest and they measure, and they said my heart was fine. They said the rhythm looked fine. They said when they have scarring in the heart, they can tell in the pattern of how it does the thing. And they said that my heart looked fine. So I don't know if I had like some fucking myocarditis, or I don't know what the fuck was going on. But that makes me worry about, did that cause some kind of, is that a time bomb? You know what I mean? Did COVID cause some shit that could happen, 10 years later? Like, that makes me fucking nervous, because they fucked us all with COVID. They really did. And most people think it's not real or didn't exist. Bullshit. In the very beginning, in the early stages, it was a real bioweapon that burned itself out within a matter of months. And then they did a swap. Then they did a swapperoo with the flu. They did they did the fucking Indiana Jones with the idol and the bag of dirt. And and that's what they did.
Good. That's a good analysis.
I got my COVID notes. I just found my COVID notes that I put together, a couple hundred pages that I did in like March and April and May and June and July, the whole first fucking series of months that it was going on, and tracked all those fucking numbers. And the deaths in the beginning, I'm going to say, were the real original deaths that probably happened between October and February. I think a lot of those numbers were not even not considered or looked at in any way, shape, or form. Or at the time they were lumped in with flu numbers. But by March of 2020, when you look at the number of COVID deaths that were coming in, because allegedly there were no COVID deaths, but once you get into like April of 2020, even though COVID only been around for like 2 weeks, the death numbers were all of a sudden at like 9,000 and change, right?
Right.
But they started out on day one in March. This is where they fucked up. They started faking the numbers in March, and I think they made them so big exponentially so quickly when it was impossible for them to grow that rapidly, because they had deaths that they were accounting for before, right? And so when I look at the numbers, I kind of came to the conclusion that somewhere just under 10,000 people had died between late October and like March-ish, right? And I attribute all those deaths 100% to like the real COVID bioweapon. There was a guy, I can't remember his fucking name. I should go back and look for it. In mid-2020, this comedian went on Joe Rogan. He was a black guy. I think his first name was Michael. I don't remember his last name. He talked about his COVID experience. And his was earlier than that. His was like in early 2020. And he said, everything he described had nothing to do with the fucking flu. Like, he said if he could have pulled the plug at some time, he probably would have. It was that bad. And yeah, that's exactly little bits of like circumstantial evidence, like his statements. Like, I kind of put together, and I realized that, holy shit, people were getting fucked and wrecked all the way up to March. And when they announced it was when it was on its way out. Because I caught whatever I caught in mid-March, and it fucked me up until about September. And I didn't have a cold or a flu. I never had chest pain, but I had crazy fucking symptoms that you only get when you have heart failure. And so, like, I explained my symptoms to a doctor friend of mine who lives in Sweden. And he's like, yeah, I don't understand what you're telling me because, like, your symptoms don't make any sense. These things, for someone like your age, because what happened was I had COVID toes, and then I had rashes on my feet, which were blood vessels bursting because they had no oxygen, right? And then I lost all the hair below my fucking knees. And so that tells me my entire circulatory system was inflamed. But I didn't have any heart pain, so I don't know what the fuck that was about. But yeah, that freaked me the fuck out. That freaked me the fuck out big time. And I think we're going to start seeing some effects from that. It's been 5 years almost, almost since the vaccine at least. So who knows? Maybe the vaccine was meant to cover some of the early deaths. Who the fuck knows? I don't think anybody has a full grasp. We might know who did it, how it was made, all that stuff, because they put out papers over the years. But the real backstory, like, I don't think anybody really totally, there was a first time people sat together in a room and thought of this, and I don't think anyone's gotten close to that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And we did have that one doctor in New York. I remember when he put his video out, he's like, man, this something's off because this has got something to do with, like, your heart and blood. That's what we're seeing. And it's like they're putting people on ventilators. It's like, why? That ain't got nothing to do with what we got here. And that was early on. That was like early April.
Yeah.
In New York. So
the crazy thing is that, like, most people didn't make this connection, but when you go back and for some reason, they didn't start tracking flu deaths like in a specific database until 2010, which is crazy to me.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Starting in 2010, there were 5,000 deaths from the flu. That number grew every fucking year from 2010 to where in 2018, the number was like 65,000 or something like that. And so if the projection held true, that means by 2020, you're probably looking at upwards of 100,000 flu deaths. Right. Mm-hmm. But they fucked with the flu numbers. Like, they literally changed. I have to go back and check the reference in my notes on this one, but they changed the flu numbers.
They made an algorithm, and they did it whenever we had the H1N1. That's when Obama introduced the algorithm of how they calculate flu deaths.
Part of how when COVID went down had something to do with masking the true number of flu deaths. Because if everyone in the country knew that flu deaths were growing exponentially every fucking year, like legitimate flu deaths, which is weird to me, then I think there'd be like a fucking freak out. And so part of this had to do with hiding the number of flu deaths. And I think they hid the number of flu deaths amongst the COVID fake deaths. Because, like, remember, if you got hit by a car, you got killed with COVID, right? So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, nobody's gone to jail yet. I'm really disappointed. Like, these people are traitors to the world. I mean, these people should be covered in honey and then dipped in like fucking fire ants before being drawn and quartered and then set on fire and then have your ashes like fucking dumped into a volcano.
Yeah, they ain't even gonna be able to send Diddy to jail, man. They're gonna have to be like, man, his time's been served. You seen it and dropped everything except like, oh yeah, he prostitution, somewhat. I mean, like, racketeering gone, sex trafficking gone, because they ain't saying nothing about no sex trafficking. It's just folks having nasty sex. That was it. It's like, well, I guess technically you took a prostitute out of where they were at and moved them across state lines, so I think that's kind of a crime. Maybe. But you didn't traffic them because it wasn't by force. So.
Hold on a second.
Shit. Yeah.
So if I get a hooker and I get Uber to deliver her to me, did I just fucking commit the crime of transporting a hooker for prostitution? Is that actually a crime?
You might. I pay for an Uber. That's my be. You got to let them pay for their own Uber. Okay. Come of their own accord. All right. And if I happen, and when they came in, I happened to leave a stack of cash on the dresser, and that they stole from me when they.
And left. I just chose not to report it because, you know.
Look at the kindness of my heart. There it is. Hey, we got the perfect cover story. Did he call us up? My goodness, man, I could have been a lawyer. Come on now. No, I couldn't. I ain't want to be in that motherfucker. I see all the paperwork they be doing. I'm like, oh no, I know they glad AI's on the way, even though it's going to fuck them on their
Bro,
cases.
there are lawyers getting disbarred for using AI, and the shit's making up cases out of thin air. Shit's wild.
Oh boy, you know this? Hey, oh man, that's what we need to have. AI versus AI. You have your AI lawyer against somebody else's AI lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Because you can build agents within like the Chat GPT and stuff like that. Tell it how aggressive it wants to be and all that. So yeah, that's what we need to have next.
So have we
speaking
had
of lawyers,
have any writers? Have we got any fake writers out there who put out some AI written books that we don't know about yet?
I don't know about that, but I do know that we've had those AI rappers, robot rappers, but they had to take the one down because it kept saying Nick. And it's like I guess they feel like AI is white, and so the AI was racist. I don't know.
So I'm still trying to get my audiobook up on Amazon. I got a bunch of technical problems. It's different. They need different kilobytes per second, and it's got to be like very structured different. But one thing I caught when I was trying to upload was that it said they do not accept and will ban your account if you upload an AI audiobook.
Oh shit.
Has to be person read.
Okay.
That I thought was pretty fucking wild. Because they know
they're gonna pick that up how?
They open up the floodgates. I mean, I promise you, Amazon has their fucking tech built in, and they scan your shit, and they can tell if it's AI. They can tell if it's AI instantly, and they'll ban it. So,
well, dang, I mean, they just everybody done told me how great AI is and how great it's gonna make your life, and then now I can't use it. I'm trying to make my life great again.
Okay. Here's the deal. This is AI. The analogy I'll make is, imagine they promised us like a Lamborghini, right? And we can envision a Lamborghini, and we're all expecting a Lamborghini, but they delivered Fred Flintstone's car instead, right? That's what we got. We expect this fucking beast of a fucking thing that can do everything, and it's like, I feel like it's like you put a retarded kid to work and he's getting shit wrong, and then you beat him for it. It's like, it's the most fucked up thing in the world. It's technology that should not be out to the public in the form that it's in, because obviously everyone tried to get the first mover advantage. Everyone failed. I mean, Apple had to have their shit taken off of their iPhones until they fixed it, because they got like threatened to be sued by like Scotland because it was making up fake stories in Scotland or something like that. Like it was fucking, okay. I mean, it's bullshit. Now, can it have good uses? I just saw a fucking video on how they used to do train inspections manually. People would go in and like look and make sure the shit's all connected and the joints are connected and everything's working. And that's how you would do a train inspection. And it would take like 4 to 6 hours. Now, a train can be laser scanned from all angles as it goes through this thing, goes into some software that some Microsoft AI processes, and it can detect every problem on the fucking thing in real time as it moves through the sensors.
Okay.
That's crazy. That is an amazing use of AI. Me asking AI to recommend a Fish album is not a good use of AI.
He said me asking AI to create me a girlfriend is not a sufficient use of AI. Which there's be a lot of folks doing that too. Create me a girlfriend. Because, you know, we did read the other day. I
don't understand how you can have an AI girlfriend. Okay, it's bad enough when you fucking are hanging out with a chick who is like, you're not on the same level, and you're trying to talk to her, and she's like, you're just not there, like, because you know that there's nobody home. Like, AI would be even worse because there's really nobody home. You're literally talking to a brick wall.
Hey, you said I got an old dodo bird for a girlfriend. Well, shit, bud. I mean, but does she look good though? It's like, well, she does look okay. She makes a mean mac and cheese, right?
That was
She
the one
makes a
thing,
mean
man.
mac and cheese.
My girlfriend Amy, my alcoholic girlfriend who wrecked my life. The one thing about her, she could cook she was amazing in the kitchen. That was the best. That was the best. Yeah, every woman needs a cook.
Well, look, there's one thing that I can say for myself is that I'm lucky to end up where I'm at right now, because like I'm actually like unbearable, and I'm unbearable not how you would think. I'm unbearable because I don't want to do shit. I'm not interested in trying a whole bunch of shit, and I don't give a shit. And so that's what makes it something that's extremely difficult. Because I don't take crazy leaps because I don't see it as a necessity. So, and a lot of times, you know, people feel like the relationship needs that high intensity in some type of way. Whether it's trying new foods or and I'm just like, I just don't care. Like, I can do the same stuff all the time and be happy. Which is what I actually do. Like, I'm like right on schedule with every single thing that I do. And so for somebody for the majority of people, like, oh yeah, I said, you wouldn't be able to deal with me. It's like, oh, narcissist, this. I said, no, I just don't do shit. So you wouldn't be able to do, like, you would be like, this guy just does the same thing all the time. Wears the same 4 pair of pants, wears the same 4 shirts, eats the same meal all the time, goes to the gym at the same time, 5 days a week. I mean, it's just like, it's be like, hold on a second, man. Like I can't take this structure. It's too structured. It's too structured for people. So, man, the differences between that's what makes it so difficult to actually find somebody. People don't understand how hard it is to actually get in a relationship that can make it past a few months. I'm talking about past a few months. The difficulty, like, it's exponential. Here's a few reasons why. You both have to be in the same mental space at that point in time. All it takes is one little thing that could be a hiccup. So let's say you meet somebody that you feel is incredible. They just took a job in California. They're gonna be gone in 2 weeks. But y'all hit it off. But you can't leave. You got no job in California. Now they're gone. You meet somebody else and hit it off perfectly. They're like, yeah, man, I really want to have kids. You're like, I don't want to have no kids. Boom, done, cooked. Just like that. It's instantaneous. Like, to be able to find somebody who you're able to actually stay with for an extended amount of time is actually almost impossible. Improbable.
So, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if COVID was a blessing in disguise. Who knows? But there are more and more reports now coming out about vaccine shedding on people who got the vax like 5 years ago one time. This kind of freaks me out. This eliminated like half the dating population, if not more, right there. So,
okay, there you go. Right out the gate.
Right out the gate. Yeah, it's weird because up until COVID, and I don't know if it's a me problem. I don't think it's a me problem, other than I put in about this much fucking effort into meeting somebody. 0. But I'm 49 years old, and see, COVID hit. I was like 44, something like that. Never been married. Dated my whole life for the most part. Not, a couple serious girlfriends, but mostly. But I never had a real issue. All of a sudden, post COVID, it's like dating just stopped. Meeting people just stopped. I don't know what the fucking deal is. Yeah, it's a societal thing. It seems to be a societal thing because it ain't just me. But
it's a complete shutdown. The date market is a complete and total shutdown because the way we interact with each other is weirder than ever. Okay, the way this is people who are right next door. We only interact with each other via our devices, and most of the time, a lot of people are not even interacting with people within their area anymore. You know, you would be localized for the most part, and I tell people there's a time and a place for approaching. Okay, and you've heard this about, oh, men are not approaching, cold approach, things of that nature. And so we've got this thing in our mind. It's like, oh, I need to approach. Well, no, here's what the deal is. It's not so much about the approaching aspect. It's about being in a situation where both parties do not feel the pressure of a date. And where is a place where most people don't feel the pressure of a date at? It's at work. And that's why you have a whole lot of work romances. For the simple fact is that you're able to get to know somebody.
Right.
Just
yeah.
act like yourself
100%.
with no pressure of anything happening afterwards.
Right.
Which can lead to a natural attraction as opposed to, oh, I'm taking this girl on this date. Shit, man, something need to happen because I'm about to spend $100.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to spend a skin. So so now you're nervous. Just going up, like I was sitting there and it's like, well, if you see a girl that you like, just walk up to her. I'm like, there's nothing more awkward than that. That's the dumbest thing to do, actually. You just walk around and see some chick. You just gonna walk up to her and say what? Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm such and such, and then just look there with your, well, I really like your shoes, and I thought your necklace was pretty, and yeah, I'm trying to fuck. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing there. But if you go to a whole bunch of conferences, work conferences, maybe you've seen somebody 2 or 3 times. Maybe y'all sitting there talking about business, and all of a sudden you start talking about something random. Then just the attraction builds from there. There's no pressure. Nobody's spending any money. I didn't ask you to go do anything with me. We just happen to be here. It happens to be a work event. So, like, all my success has happened from work. Now, it hadn't been from people at work, but it's come from meeting people through work. Because I'm just interacting with them with no pressure of, I'm not asking them on a date or nothing. It's just they come in multiple times, interact with me, and the attraction is built that way. So people have got it in their minds wrong that people just walk around just walking up to people cold approaching. I'm like, nobody was ever doing that. You were in a particular type of social circle to where there wasn't a whole lot of pressure and natural attraction was made, which is why it's sometimes it's easier to date like in high school. People dated, a whole bunch of people dated in high school. Well, you're just in that social circle. And so you're able to build the attraction that way. Well, nobody going on their dates or nothing. Supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Ain't nobody went on the first date. High school, you ain't got no money. You broke as fuck. Especially back in the damn, you talking about 90s, 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole premise behind that. And so with our social circles, we stop meeting so much in person. And so now when people are in person, you're kind of awkward. Like people are really awkward in person now. Like they don't even know how to really handle it anymore. And that came with the wave of a lot of remote work. Because a bunch of people went remote. Whereas before, you'd be in the office. Maybe y'all would go out and have some lunch. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of you would go out and have lunch, shoot the shit. Maybe after work, y'all blow off some steam. Folks go somewhere, have some drink. Yeah, but that all went away for, 2 years? It was 2 years that folks lost. You're talking about 2020, 2021, a portion of 2022. People didn't really let go of the rope till about halfway through 2022.
Some people still hold that fucking rope. Bro, I went out the other. I live in Fort Collins, and Fort Collins is like L.A. without the trash, right? They're just as liberal here. Although I'll tell you this much, they didn't do Pride Month here. They said they did on their website, but like they didn't do a thing. Nothing.
I ain't seen no dicks this month or last month. I ain't seen no dicks. So on X, usually they have some type of pride stuff. I didn't see none. Folks let it go this year.
Yeah, but this place here, I've seen people with masks. I've seen people with masks when I go out here. Still, people didn't get the memo.
It's almost dwindled out in my area. There's just a few. That's just they holding on to hope. You know what I'm saying? They holding on to that last string of hope. I'm like, dog, it's time to let it go. You know what I'm saying? And then you come through and have an intervention. You know what I'm saying? You bring everybody together.
You know what's crazy? You know how the mind has a way of blocking certain memories, to protect itself and to not, like, I have a real hard time remembering a lot of the COVID era inconveniences. Like my mind has minimalized them and put them in a little box somewhere, because it was a major inconvenience for 2.5 years, and
yeah,
and I can only think of a couple incidents in my mind of wearing the mask, but I know I wore it every time we went anywhere, right? So my mind has done a good job of blocking a lot of those memories for some reason.
Well, here's what's key for me. I mean, of course, I worked through the whole thing. I was essential.
Car dealers are essential?
Wear any mask. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, car dealership. Yeah, folks still had to drive, so if your car breaks down.
The idea that they told people that some people were essential and some people were not. This is some straight out of Kafka kind of shit.
and they won't lying about it neither. Okay, they knew this was essential. I mean, they were like, "No, you definitely ain't essential." I mean, you were at the clothes store. They're like, "No, but I mean, you can take your ass to the house." You know what I'm saying? I mean, they knew some folks. Now look, some folks took it to heart and they put themselves out of business when they shouldn't have. Because I was like. Depending on where you at, man, and we're seeing this now when the cops were coming around and shutting folks down and all that. I mean, all those folks got sued. They had to pay that money back and all that because it was illegal as fuck. Okay? I mean, damn, it was illegal. It's like, dude. I mean, the one thing I remember was that dude's name, Barr. So up there is like, yeah, man. They out here shitting on folks' constitutional rights. Somebody should do something about that. Nigga, that's you. Like, you the guy. Me, look, I'm like, man, that's your gig. Oh, that's me. Oh, damn. I spoke too soon to then. I mean, yeah. So, like, what was it that the one gym that got shut down multiple times in New Jersey? I think they won all their shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got paid back and all that. All those nurses they got fired and stuff. They got back pay. You talking about military people? Man, just take them to the ringers, man. Take them to the cleaners. I don't see why not.
See, here's the deal.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand how they thought they could get away with something like this in the modern era. We live in the digital age. I had 100% completely solved COVID by July of 2020. I could have told you what lab it was made in, who made it, everything by July of 2020. And you're going to tell me the motherfuckers at the government couldn't figure it out? Fuck right off.
Corey, they couldn't quite get their head around it. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get a hold on it. Fauci was doing the best he could. Burks was doing the best she could. Okay.
If ever I wanted to someone needed to go to the rape pens, it was fucking Burks.
They were doing the best they could. So yeah, man, but that era, that 2 years transformed America, or transformed the world forever, because it pretty much made almost everything unaffordable. That's what it did. Like exponentially unaffordable for most of what you want to do. Because you talking about like rents and stuff like that. I mean, folks talk about buying a house. You're like, Man, I could buy a house, but damn, man, my rent $400. What y'all talking about? Why I want to buy a house? You know what I'm saying? I mean, my rent $500, man.
So that's something I want to talk about real quick because I'm in a state of confusion right now because stock market's all-time high. Bitcoin's pretty close to all-time high. People will tell you that things are about to explode, and if they cut interest rates, the market's going to explode and everything's going to be hunky-dory. I'm hearing all this stuff like crazy. And at the same time, I'm looking at the fucking housing market, which is the leading indicator of the economy in the country. And all indicators are that we're in a situation with the housing market that is far worse than we were in 2008. So I don't know what to believe, because if the housing market crashes, the economy crashes, Bitcoin's going to crash, everything's going to crash if the housing market has a bottom out like in 2008. This housing crash has been people have seen it coming for years because of the amount of money that was fluxed into the system during COVID and the remote work and the anticipation for the need for this housing. And it's just not needed. Markets across the country have more housing on fucking record for sale than ever before. Places like LA, Vegas, Florida, the housing markets are flooded. These people will never be able to sell these houses. This is going to lead to financial ruin. So I don't know how to balance.
They have to sell them at a loss. They have to sell them at a loss.
Right. And that means the banks take a loss. And that affects the banks, and that affects bank stocks, and that affects the market. Everything is a gear in a big machine. So I don't know how to fucking make jive these two things. That everything's great and that the fucking markets are going to explode with cuts in interest rates and everything's going to be awesome. And yet the housing market is teetering on the biggest collapse of all time. I don't know what the fuck to think of this. I don't know how these two things
weird,
jive.
doesn't it?
It seems very fucking weird. All I can think of is that there might be some kind of quantitative easing kind of thing. If they cut rates and there's more money in the economy, it'll slow the hasten of the fucking collapse. But still, you can't have more houses than people wanting to fucking buy houses and expect everything's going to work out. Right?
Yeah, because you got to think, when they cut interest rates, you want to talk about the amount of homes that are going to go on the market. If they cut it back to 4%. Because there's people in their houses right now that absolutely hate it. But they bought it because it was 2% interest. They're like, damn, we need to buy a house. We need to buy a house. Yeah, I'll buy that one. I'll pay $70,000 over asking price too. And then they get in there and they're like, oh shit, the foundation's rotting. Damn, the back deck is fell in. Oh man, I need a new AC unit. Like, folks were buying stuff sight unseen. They weren't even looking at it. Didn't step foot in it. Paying $50,000 over sticker price.
Yeah.
That's how fucking retarded we are.
Mm-hmm.
The government don't have to do much. All they got to do is hit a button and watch the ants scurry. They hit one button. They say, look at them. Look at the dummies. Let's go. You see, what they don't understand is that your wages don't go up. I can make mine go up into perpetuity. Because first of all, I get the insider trade. Second of all, when we feel like it, we just give ourselves a raise. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like they hit one button and folks lost their damn mind.
Mm.
And folks thought, oh man, I got something so great. I said, what you don't understand that you have done is that you have landlocked yourself. And so if you had any hopes of moving up in any type of financial way, usually moving up financially requires movement for most people. Let's say you in a smaller city, you got $60,000, $70,000 job. Boom. Okay, I got me a house here. Okay, all good. Oh, 2 years later, oh, I got offered a job in this city over here for $120,000. Well, shit, what I'm gonna do with this house? Oh, well, damn. If I sell this house, then the next house I buy is gonna be at 7% interest. And how much you say the house was? 1,200 square foot for $450,000. Damn, I'm in the 2,000 square foot now, so I got to downsize and pay more money. So now you're landlocked.
Yeah.
I said, Bo, they got you by the nuts, man. Like when I was sitting there telling folks, I said, Folks was like, "Oh man, this is great." I said, "Man, calm down. Everybody needs to calm down." I said, "They're doing this to prop up the economy to make it seem like it's doing okay when it should have just crashed. Should just let the crash happen."
Right.
But we just pumped money out there and made it look all great. And then now, folks, I don't understand why stuff's so high. I was like, it's like you said, Corey. It's like people deleted 2020, 2021, and half of 2022 out of their minds. It's like it didn't happen. Folks have no idea how we got here.
Yeah. I knew this whole thing was rigged when in the midst of COVID, they had that fucking boat that got stuck in the Panama Canal.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
The split second I heard that shit, I'm like, bullshit. 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 You see,
it just happened to get stuck, Bo.
That's the benefit of living in the digital age, man. I have to say, really, it's the benefit of living in the digital age is we can debunk shit in real time. Their fucking level of lies have to be so complicated and planned in advance. And if you're planning it in advance that far, you leave a trail. You know what I mean? It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because right now I'm actually back on a stint. I'm back to writing my book again. I've been knocking out like 10 or 12 pages in the past day or two. And so I'm realizing that John Armstrong is like the major researcher who I'm pulling from for this book. And he did his work in the 90s. And he had to like take a physical picture that he got from somebody, mail the picture to somebody else to look at. And then they had to mail the picture back to him to verify, you know, if it's the information that the person remembers, right? That process takes like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that now in like a minute. I can message the person, send them a picture, have them look at it, and tell me within a minute what I'm asking, the question I want to know, right? So just being in the digital age has fucking taken so much time out of the equation. It's crazy. It's really been a benefit.
Exactly.
And applying that to the government, they can't hide shit anymore. Because when they hide things, it leaves voids. And those voids are you can tell there's something missing, you know?
Yeah, you can look right at it. Just like when they told me in January of 2020 that be scared because folks was coughing and sneezing. I'm like, I do what? A fever. I'm like, okay. Seems like run-of-the-mill stuff to me. I was like, why is this on the news? I said, this seems dumb. It's during my basketball season. So this seems dumb. Then some of my players start dropping out. I was like, what the hell wrong with y'all? I never really got anything. Then all of a sudden we finish the season, and 1 week later, shut down. I'm like, 2 weeks to slow the spread. That's the weirdest time of my life. Look, I felt like 28 days later, except I didn't wake up with my dick hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like old home dude did in the damn hospital. I don't know if they explained that shit in some lore somewhere, but I'm trying to figure out how on 28 days later, how all these folk got ate and my man was just laying right there in the hospital. Ain't nobody eat him. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because there ain't no movie if he don't wake up there.
Yeah.
See, my dad taught me when I was real young, there's certain questions you're not supposed to ask about movies.
Oh man. So July 4th coming up, all right. Independence Day, except for the Negro community, all right. We already had our Independence Day, allegedly, Juneteenth. Okay. We're not supposedly if you're black, you're not supposed to celebrate July 4th.
So that's not when hold on a second. This is the stupidest holiday because it ain't when the slaves got released. It was when the dumb motherfuckers down in wherever 2 years later finally got word that they got released. So what? You're celebrating a broken fucking system of mail delivery. Like, that's crazy.
Well, that's what we've been told in the past few years, that July 4th is not for black folks, for white people only. It may be indentured servants.
You see,
God, different races.
No, this is a problem. You either embrace America or you don't. You embrace the culture or you don't. It ain't about race; it's about culture. If everybody just fucking adhered to the same culture, right, and we didn't have things like Sexy Red polluting us, getting paid by the CIA, you know, if everyone's stuck to listening to to real music, you know what I mean? If everyone acted like I acted and did like I did, everything would be perfect.
What do you mean? We got Glorilla. She just won her a gospel music award. Moose
Glow.
Knuckle Queen.
Hold on a second. A song called Moose Knuckle Queen won an award?
Oh, no. Her gospel song was Rain on Me, but, she was on her song, was it TGIF?
Why do
she
I
was
think
in
that
her,
Rain on Me has secondary implications?
Kirk Franklin was in it, though. She got Kirk Franklin to be
The
in the
gospel
song
guy.
with her. Yeah. I was like, Kirk, you know Glorilla's turned up with her niggas and bitches, right? Like that's her song.
Yeah, but he's a Christian guy, and they take in your what is the saying? Your beggars and your unwanted and your fucking junkies and whatever the fuck.
Man, I mean, I get what folks
Here's
keep
the thing:
talking
Christian
about
preachers can get a good piece of ass by playing that fucking role. They fuck a lot of women. I promise you that. In the name of the Lord, it is a good gig. I should have gotten in on the Christian gig when I was like a fucking teenager.
I should have got in there.
I'd have a mansion and like a harem, all that stuff.
It's a whole, but he said, "Hey man, there's it said we want you to be pastor of the church." It's like, oh man, what kind of house does this come with? Do I get a couple of side bitches? Oh, pastor, you can't say side bitches. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Women of God on the side. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a couple of those. Nah, but I mean, Glorilla, she won. She won gospel music, song of the year. I was like, whoo. There ain't nobody else make no gospel music. It's kind of like when Beyonce won country album of the year. I said,
see, when I think of gospel, I think of like 50 black chicks in the fucking church with the robes, and they're all clapping their hands, and that's gospel to me.
yeah, that's the gospel music, but not what Glorilla had. I listened to the song because I had to make sure. I had to make sure she didn't say nigga in the middle of the song. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just somewhere randomly. I was like, no, she held it back. But I'm gonna tell you right now, but she had to tone herself down. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what else she be doing. But Corey, July 4th, what you going to fish, ain't you? Ain't you got fish?
Yeah. July
4th extravaganza.
It'll be good. They're doing 3 nights, but I'm only going 1 night out of all 3. So it's not the most convenient show in the world. They're playing in Boulder, and fucking Boulder is not a town that is meant to handle 50,000 fucking people coming into it at the same time. It is just not designed that way at all. The parking is spread out over like 7 different parking lots. It's going to be a fucking shit show to get in and get out of. I'm not looking forward to it at all. And so tomorrow night, I'm going to my friend's house, and we're going to watch the fish show on TV at her place. And then I'll go on the 4th of July, because they'll do something special on the 4th. They'll have like fireworks, so they'll do some fucking song they haven't done in 20 years. They'll do something special, which will be cool. And then they're playing Saturday, but I really want to get down to Pueblo because they're doing that Pueblo meetup for Slow News Day guys.
Oh, the Third Eye?
Third Eye, yeah. And I still have a ride. I got my motorcycle, and I don't have a way to get down there, so I'm kind of like stuck.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. Yeah, July 4th, burgers and dogs, right? Hamburgers, hot dogs.
Yeah.
Getting the grill out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just usually just July 4th hamburger, hot dog. It's usually not anything else on July 4th, as far as food-wise. Of course, you got your chili, your slaw. Your stuff that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff that I don't eat. But, other people eat it. I don't need that. What's your, what would be your go-to dessert on July 4th? Would it just be ice cream? That go-to dessert?
Oh, man, I couldn't even say pies. Apple pie. American apple pie.
Apple pie? That would be go-to dessert? Guys, leave that in the comment section. Go-to dessert on July 4th. Nobody really talks about the dessert. I know, I know you remember this a couple years ago. Biden put up there that, this July 4th was going to be, cheaper than it was before. And he had up there, how much a pound of hamburger was and stuff. But I didn't see anything about no dessert. So I
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
dessert's forgotten on July 4th. And it shouldn't be. It should have its place on
Yes.
this gracious day. I will be off work. My God, and I need it because they have kicked my ass this week. I'm gonna tell you right now, boy, they have been knee deep, boy. They've been in me. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't I-N. This is just the letter N, capitalized. They've been up in me. So there's no doubt about that. So we hope everybody has a great 4th. All right. Corey, we've got Superman coming out next week. The start of the DCU.
The more I see it, the more I'm interested in it.
It seems like it's going to have a lot in it, like a lot.
And it doesn't look like it takes itself too seriously. It's got the super dog in it. I mean, it's got some things. It's got some quirky things in it that tell me that it's not taking itself too seriously, and that is essential. So
we see a Green Lantern. We see a Green Lantern in there.
Yeah, it should be.
We see some other people I don't really know about that seem to be villainous in nature. Of course, we got Lex Luthor. He's going to be in it. He's got to be the nemesis. Of Superman.
Oh, and I see. And then, what trailer do you think I'm excited about now that just came out in the past couple of days?
Running Man.
You got it.
Bam, boy, I hit it. I was like, hold on. What's came out in the past couple days? Running Man. That's
Running Man. I didn't even. It's kind of funny because it's like a year ago. I was thinking to myself, man, it'd be great if they remade that, and then they remade it. I think I might be God. I think about things, and then they happen.
Listen, the more I think about it, the more I believe that I may just be him. I just, I've put myself in this, body of clay to feel what it would feel like to be amongst the peasants. To get that feeling. So yeah, guys, hope y'all have a good July 4th. We'll catch y'all on Sunday for day 0, of course. And if y'all haven't been watching the UFC and a guy named Ilya Tapora, just go back and just look at his fights, because this dude he's collecting skulls right now. Like, he's like Infinity Stone type shit right now with the folks he's putting down, and like he's flatlining them. Like, he fucked Oliveira up, like, bad,
quick too.
Yeah, and so I don't know. We got a few people who watch us during our UFC live streams that we have on Weezy's channel. But if you are a fight fan and you don't know who Ilya Tapori is, he don't get a whole lot of press as far as, because he doesn't have a very outgoing personality. But I'd highly suggest, if you got like ESPN Plus or something, just go watch some of his old fights on demand. All of his old fights should be on demand. And you talk about somebody who's got a trajectory to become, one of the GOATs of MMA. To even potentially pass who's that? Khabib's legacy. Because, Islam's moved up. Islam's moved up.
Khabib's a badass.
He was, but man, he won't wrecking skulls like this. He was wrestling folk. But I mean, Ilya's wrecking skulls. I mean, he's hurting folks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's a little bit different. So I don't know if they're going to end up having that super fight in the future between Islam and Ilya, because Islam vacated the belt and moved up to 170. Islam Makhachev. So he's going to be competing right now in 170 for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if that's going to set up a super fight. A lot of times when they do these super fights, they do them like 3 years too late. Like when both of them are long in the tooth. It's like, the super fight. I'm like, man, we wanted to see this 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see it now. Like, both these folks, like, after they go on a losing streak and shit like that, it's like, what was it? The last, like, Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz, 8. When they're both 50 years old. It's like, but neither one of these dudes need to be fighting anymore. So But that's the way it is. But we appreciate everybody for being out with us tonight. We'll catch you on the next Beyond the Cube. Boy XQ 420, Powerful one, Corey Hughes. Make sure you support him with all his work. BloodyHistory.substack, CoreyHughes.org, Warner from History JFK book. He's working on an Oswald book. Y'all know what the deal is. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.